So yesterday we did go out there and make this video. The Jordan Kyrou huge shade on Craig Berube video talking about the comments or the no comments that he made about former Blues coach Craig Berube. We talked about how this was a pretty big deal in the eyes of many Blues fans who are already pissed off with Jordan Kyrou and the way he has played this season. Just in case you needed the update, Kyrou went out there yesterday and actually had a pretty okay game. He had an assist. He's got 29 games played and 18 total points, on pace for about 51 on the year. Still a minus player overall. Definitely an improvement from the minus 38 he had last season, which was second worst in the NHL, and he is making $8.125 million a year till 2031. He is an expensive player. He is a very relied upon player in terms of his status in the team and his dollar amount. But from the way he's played this season, and with the comments that he made yesterday about Craig Berube, you could very much understand why many Blues fans have been ticked off with the way this guy has performed this season. And a bunch of Blues fans in the comment section yesterday were also saying similar things, like, yeah, he hasn't been great, sure he's getting some points, but he's not producing like an $8 million player has. His defensive issues are not really all too great. Craig Berube wanted him to play defense, so now that Berube is gone and Kyrou went out there and didn't really give anything to the media, hey, what's your relationship like? Oh, I don't have a thing to say about that because he's not my coach anymore. That doesn't bode well. Right? I think we can all agree on that. However, I did not expect the aftermath of this situation and the comments that Jordan Kyrou made about Craig Berube to grow and evolve into what happened yesterday when, during the Blues game, Jordan Kyrou was receiving a smattering of boos every time he touched the puck. Some on the power play, more when a puck slipped past him on the offensive blue line. This guy was playing a home game in St. Louis, and every time he touched the puck, fans were booing their heads off. And that is something that I did not expect. I totally didn't expect this video and the comments that he made to grow into that. Now, the reason we're making this follow-up video is because after the game, they did go out there and ask Kyrou about the boos, and he ended up like tearing up. He's like crying pretty much in the video. I don't want to play it because, you know, Twitter copyrighted material, but I guess it's not loading anymore. The guy was very, very sad. Not mad, not upset, not whatever. He was sad. Like, he was straight up crying in the interview. Here's the tweet and what it says. Bally Sports Midwest. Kyrou and getting booed by fans throughout tonight's game. I see where they're coming from with how my comments sounded. And then he gets emotional saying, it's just tough, right? I love playing here. So it's tough to hear fans booing me out there. And let's see if I can try to make the video, like, scroll through. If I double tap it, does that do anything? No, it doesn't. Okay, let's reload the page. That's dangerous to do, but we're gonna try to do that. Yeah, okay, here. So now we can scroll through it. The guy is straight up tearing up. There's a moment where he looks at the camera and his eyes are like all red. It's very difficult to watch. Earlier today, Friedman says, asked about Craig Berube, Jordan Kyrou says, I've got no comment, he's not my coach anymore. In response, he was booed by Blues fans. Post-game, Kyrou was emotional about the reaction. Now, that's the thing that I think a lot of these immediate instinctual reactions are lacking. That, yes, okay, this is what happened. Kyrou said that Berube's not my coach, and then the fans went out there and booed him. If you just said it like this, it makes St. Louis Blues fans seem like the most evil people on planet Earth. However, I do think there is a lot of brewing tension that was within this situation before the comments were even made. Blues fans were already pissed off with the way Jordan Kyrou has been playing this season, and they were already pissed off with the way he just wasn't playing defensively and up to the way Berube wanted to play. Craig Berube is hailed as a saint in St. Louis because he won the franchise their first Stanley Cup, and Kyrou wasn't even on that team when he got it done. So when it comes to the way that these comments sound, they're even more of a nail in the coffin to Jordan Kyrou's reputation in the St. Louis Blues organization. Now, the guy's getting paid a lot of money. The guy's paid for a very long time. I get that. And there's a certain level of, like, responsibility that comes with that. And being able to answer questions to the media in a proper way, not just shoving them off saying, oh, I've got no comment, he's not my coach anymore. Like, I feel like Jordan Kyrou as an $8 million player, 70-point guy who's got all this responsibility, he's got more responsibility within the media, not just on the ice, but to be able to answer questions properly. And not doing that to a fan base that's already pissed off with the way he's playing is a very bad concoction of ingredients. And it resulted in this. I mean, Jordan Kyrou's emotions were hurt about this, and what I wanted to do as well was go out there and read some Blues fans' comments about this entire thing. We read the Blues subreddit yesterday to go over some comments from Blues fans, and what I wanted to do was read how they've responded to this entire situation, how Kyrou was emotional, tearing up in his post-game interview. It really hurt him. Can we not do this self-flagellation thing that we love to do? That's a tough word. Oy, oy, oy. The fans chose Berube. He is forever a Blue and will never buy a drink in this town again. Kyrou disrespected the coach with his play and did it again with his comments when asked about it. Okay, wait, before we continue, let's try to zoom in. Does that look a little bit better? Okay, that's a tad better. There you go. Realign that here. Did he deserve to get booed? Maybe not, but let's not pretend that the fans chose to do so didn't feel like they had a reason. Chief was let down by this group of players, and Kyrou is the main offender. A good man lost his job specifically because of Kyrou's inability to play to his high standards. Kyrou can make them all eat their words with his play, and I hope he does it. Nice to see a reasonable take. I just came from the Our Hockey thread, and unsurprisingly, apparently our entire fanbase is classless, and most of the Blues flayers in there are apologizing for the heinous crime of booing a bit. I'm glad to see Kyrou cares, and I really hope he turns it around, but geez, a few boos aren't the end of the world. It's really wild. St. Louis fans never boo their own. It took months of not putting in the effort despite being called out by teammates for him to get to this position. Then the Berube comments pushed it over the edge. But the Our Hockey fans who know literally nothing about Kyrou other than stats on a hockey reference page think they understand the situation and they can allocate blame. See, this is kind of what I mean. Like, you kind of have to understand why this happened in order to really be able to talk about it properly. Because just saying, oh yeah, Blues fans suck, they're booing their own guy for saying no comment, like, that's missing half the context there. So, I'm not saying Blues fans are right or wrong or whatever for booing a guy. I mean, I'll say this, it's your own money, pay for what you want to do. Like, I've said this opinion about many things in NHL lore, but if you're paying money to go to a game, like, you should be able to do anything you want within reason. Like, no tossing stuff onto the ice, no fighting people, no this, no that, but expressing your concern through boos, that doesn't hurt anybody, technically. So, for this Jordan Kyrou thing, I mean, there's so much context that is required to understand why they did this. Dude's making like $8 million a year to perform, and he isn't. He cries a little bit, and all of a sudden he's given freedom by people making a small fraction of that for 20 times the stress and lack of financial freedom. That's one way to rationalize this entire thing. Here's another comment. I'm watching the interview. It's a tough watch. He's barely keeping it together. Let's hope it's all uphill for him from here. The questions made it feel like they were trying to make him cry. That was tough to watch. Those reporters gave him some nice soft tosses to talk about Berube and save some face. I thought the reporters and Kyrou did a nice job. They kept on prying. I would have cried too. Rutherford started it. Honestly, probably didn't need to ask him about his relationship in the first place. That's a further question down the road, but JR likes to poke and get clicks for his athletic article. Hey, I'm in the same boat as JR, man. That's why I'm talking about this here. Maybe fans should stop booing him like that. Giving a bad media quote is no excuse for home fans to turn on a guy like that. Disgusting behavior from fans who know better. And then the reply with a bunch more upvotes. The boos are for more than just the media quote itself. This is where I'll leave this video today. Coach Donut goes out there and says this: if you're getting paid $8 million a year, you're not scoring like it, and the team gets a beloved coach fired, you have two choices. One, be smart enough to choose your words carefully. And two, put on your big boy pants and eat the crap coming your way for the next few days. Bunch of cake eaters here trying to have it both ways. And you know what? I think that's kind of where I lie in this situation too. Thank you for stating the obvious. Drunk History's replies: I don't believe there is a single Blues fan that wants Kyrou to fail. I do think there are a number of fans, myself included, that want to see maturity on and off the ice. His no comment piece wasn't the problem. His "he's not my coach anymore" piece, though, leaves a lot to be desired. Shen and Binnington had stout responses to Chiefs' termination. Kyrou didn't. It felt off base to say the least, malicious at most. Couple that with being an underperforming player and you get people who are frustrated. It takes a lot for St. Louis fans to boo their own. We aren't New York. There's a lot of loyalty in this city for players, maybe even to a fault. But Kyrou's commentary missed the mark regarding a coach that the majority of fans appreciate. What happened last night wasn't ideal, but it's not exactly surprising. In a game of popularity, Chief beats Kyrou, and the fans let him know that accordingly. His response is critical. Unless he's traded, he's going to be here for a long time. He needs to ante up and play like the monster we all know he can be. And I think that is the ultimate conclusion that we should have here, that yes, Craig Berube, this guy here in the banner, was a very important person. And him and Kyrou may not have had their eye-to-eye moments for the past few years. But when one of them goes out there and trashes the other, and it's not the coach talking about the player, you're going to have an emotional response from the St. Louis Blues crowd. Did Kyrou deserve to get booed? Maybe not. But you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as to this entire situation and what Blues fans are saying about this in the aftermath. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.